historic day, Cinco de Mayo 2021. So the classified information finally came out. Japan. So let's compare back to the USSR and the United States of usury. Let's compare Mikhail Gorbachev and Barack Obama and Donald J. Trump. Oh, they drained the swamp. No, they drained the wetlands. Wetlands have gone dry post-Fukushima. No, they left the nuclear energy swamp in place. They drained the wetlands. So let's talk about it. It's out. This is the biggest news on Earth, and nobody will report it. It's out today. So you know, the reason I'm not in San Diego on the tide pools right now is our little, she'll be 5 soon. Our little girl is in primary. She's having a blood transfusion today. So I've been helping the family out as much as I can. So I pick up the children, the siblings from school each day. You know, because the parents are at primary children's with, so I'm doing as much as I possibly can. So let's talk about this. The nurses at Weber State, LDS, bought me this hat 10 years ago when I was in the bone marrow transplant center. So it's historic. This is gigantic. Just the biggest story on Earth. So they come out and disclose the classified information today that Kevin Blanch has been screaming all over the internet. And it really doesn't matter if this gets 3 views at this point, because it's so kettled in, and the American populace, somebody asked me what could be done now, and I says nothing, as long as the American populace is kept in the Fukushima dark, and they're apathetic vloggers and vloggers who hijacked alternative media and turned into mainstream media. So this is being reported out of Japan today, that what happened, why it was not entombed. As Kevin Blanch reported from day one, the United States military took control of the situation in Fukushima immediately. Joint Chief of Staff took the lead. The Navy Admiral took the lead. 32 ships were sent in, full freaking Air Force, everything was sent in to entomb it. On their way there, the ships, the Reagan was already there. Japan is putting out classified information today for the first time on Cinco de Mayo 2021. This has never been disclosed before except for by Kevin Blanch, and no one believed me. The Yalta by the Sea agreements gave the United States the total 100% right to take complete control. That who runs the island of Japan. They turned it into a nuclear hellhole. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Fukushima. We were, nervous about. Now remember, NATO Con resigned over this, about the United States military taking control, but they took control. They were in the middle of evacuating all 2 million United States military personnel. They had them loaded on ships. They had them cleared out. It was in progress. Make it so. The USS Reagan was right there. They sent the US Reagan right in and make it so outside the situation room. So Japan's saying that we were nervous they were going to take over, but they did take over. But then all of a sudden they were backed out. We were, scientists are baffled, curious, perplexed. Can we get this? Bewildered, stumped, curious. It was bewilderment they're using. This is the word that the Japanese TEPCO, the Japanese government, NATO Con was still the primary. I've talked to NATO more than once, by the way, in San Diego. He'll start to cry. He comes right up to me. We were bewilderment. We couldn't believe it. They just backed out and left. Why? Barack Obama, that's why. Barack Obama, John Holdren, the whole nuclear energy crime syndicate. Powers there be to protect the nuclear energy crime syndicate. Genocide the Pacific Ocean, freaking cause the heat bubble, just the greatest ecological devastation in human history, which they knew would happen. They says, let it happen. Make it so. It's new. So, okay, let's talk back to the USSR. I've talked to Mikhail Gorbachev twice. I'm the guy that reported the death of Igor, who flew in the media with his friend's helicopter, took the photographs. One photograph survived the radiation, got reported in the world. That's how we know about Chernobyl. That's how I'm the guy that reported walking from the UN to Vienna. I was on top of the Danube when I got the call that he died. I reported it to the world, as I've done so much, but kettle me. When when Chernobyl happened, Gorbachev ultimately made the hard decision to entomb it. The sacrifice that was made by the Russian... My mate, Annika, who died of leukemia, said they came to the door. She lived in Kiev. Says, let's go. Brother was 17 and 18. You've been called up. You got 30 minutes to get your stuff together. Let's go. Both died of leukemia. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of men entombed it. 87 days. The Battle of Chernobyl, the documentary, which precedes the HBO documentary, is much better than the HBO. Risa, what came out of those meltdowns of Fukushima, Japan, was not cesium, was not iodine, was not even plutonium. The worst thing that came out of there was lies. It set the table for Fukushima. So they entombed it. Saved the world. Talk about a fucking sacrifice the Russian people made. Talk about a fucking decision Gorbachev made. Well, Putin filled the vacuum that took down back to the USSR. So Obama took the opposite. These was one partial meltdown at Chernobyl. They entombed it. They knew immediately, within hours, as I've reported, they knew these were full blown out meltdowns. They went into cover-up mode. Barack Obama ultimately made the decision to back them out. This report discloses everything that Kevin Blanch, inside the situation when John Holds, when the eugenics was running, he was in the Beltway. He was actually in the situation. Now, here you got sliding with Biden. His own son dies from nuclear energy. The byproduct of nuclear energy, which is depleted uranium, which is white phosphorus, they sprayed. He got brain cancer and died. Barack Obama's own mother had downwinders from the Nevada test site. Kansas paid the price harder than southern Utah did. They don't care. Kamala Harris's mother died of cancer in 2009. Livermore, bringing star by her. Apparently they don't care. So then comes Trump and the handoff for a Japanese PM to come to the United States once post-war. It's only happened twice until Obama. He shows up, he goes to media, MIT media. Kevin Blanch's army traced him to MIT. Why would he go there? The cover-up being run there. The cover-up in the bunker in Hawaii. Ask Edward Snowjob. He'll tell you this. He was in Fukushima, Japan. They covered it up from the bunker in Hawaii. That's where they classified Kevin Blanch. That's where they attacked Kevin Blanch. Why is he in critical condition? They made the decision they knew there were at least 3 full blown out meltdowns within 3 hours of the shake. I know, I have the transcript of the situation room. Holdren was there inside it. They argued for 9 hours. The Joint Chief of Staff, the Navy Admiral, going to be the new Joint Chief of Staff, Obama had already announced, is Haas Cartwright, the Marine. He's his right-hand man. Now, this is the same Marine who leaked the information to the New York Times about Obama and Netanyahu's secret program to kill nuclear physicists in Iran. They're putting bombs up under their car, blowing up whole families. Obama used to like to sit around and watch the drone. He killed more people than Bush in these wars. That same guy. Obama leaned on him. Holden goes home after 9 hours of arguing in there. The Navy had sent in 32 ships. They'd sent in planes, everything. The entombment process, first the evacuation, then the entombment process was on. They have a protocol in place. The Navy Admiral, it was on. They were going to entomb it. The United States military took control, rightfully so. Yelta by the Sea. Now Japan is reporting for the first time what Kevin Blanch has been reporting after you frogs have been boiled in ice. The greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. The greatest event in fucking human history. And what was their answer? To attack Kevin Blanch. I got cancer on 11/11. I went to the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. You don't think that's significant? Give it 2 months to live. What a fucking fight. So why did Obama back them out? And it was ultimately up to Barack Obama. The USS Reagan, he ignores the admiral. He's leaning on who's going to be the new chief, Haas Cartwright. He uses the terminology, make it so. The Reagan's there. Send it in. I've interviewed, so I'll tag this. I've interviewed so many people. Yeah, so-and-so died on the Reagan. So-so. I'm the only activist there. I have the only permits. I have them from the Swartz building. I'm there the whole time, the litigation. You know, they nuked my father to death in a Nevada test site. I know this dynamic more than anyone. I've lived it. Literally born with it. My 2 grandsons I'm going to pick up, born March 2011. Japanese name. And the mother didn't even know it was a Japanese name till yesterday. The intuitive mind is powerful. Inside the Situation Room, Barack Obama made the Navy Admiral back down. And the ultimate decision was made by Cartwright and John Holdren. John Holdren. NATO Con knows all this. I've talked to him about this. Why did you're the one that built it. The United States made me do it. Yalta by the Sea. I get that. He gets all emotional. He starts to cry. Abby's dying of cancer. Abby, tomato, snow job. He took the field. They forced NATO Con out, the anti-nuclear. He was talking too much about Fukushima. Shh, just be quiet. Fold 1,000 paper cranes. She only got to 644. Sudoku, I held that crane in my hand, one of her real ones. While I'm fighting for my life, you know where they flying out in Utah. Why are we not going to entomb it? Barack Obama. John Holdren. If we entomb this, that will be the end of the nuclear energy industry forever. It will be over. The whole world will know that these are full-blown out meltdowns. Never was it about panic. The evacuation of California, the evacuation of the whole western United States, the bubble. Cancer rates have rose 38% post-Fukushima. They knew that would happen. They discussed this. This will cause cancer rates to go psychotic. This will kill the Pacific Ocean if you just dump water in the Pacific Ocean. They knew that. That was discussed inside there. It was discussed. Obama said, no, back them out. Based on John Holdren and Haas Cartwright, spitting right in the face of the United States Navy, flying right in his face. He was pissed. I mean, the F word was flying in there. Gregory Jacko, who was head of the nuclear regulatory, in there, towered down like a... You look at those when he was called to the Hill immediately. He looks like a deer in the headlight. He's a coward, two-bit punk. I talked to Allison McFarland at the hearing, went right out of her. She threw, she knew all this. She threw Barbara Boxer's office out. Barbara Boxer's office called for hearings on San Onofre and Fukushima. So she was head of the committee. I was due to speak. They classified and pushed it into the underground FICA court, supposedly. Apparently they had. And Senator Wyden went to Fukushima, Japan from Oregon 5 times. Not one origami can even go over there and ask him. Every politician in Utah has been asked on YouTube camera, including Mitt Romney, about Fukushima. I know nothing. I asked Donald J. Trump to his face, are you going to talk about Fukushima, disclose it, quit the cover-up? Yeah. He was asked. I asked Bernie Sanders. I asked Mitt Romney. I've asked John Huntsman. I've asked Senator Mike Lee, why are we here? Wyden went there. He says he reported to the Hill. After going to Fukushima Jam, it's way worse than I ever thought it was. I used to talk to his office back and forth. In 2013, 14, he quit communicating with me. Won't return emails now. None of them will. The Army Corps engineer tips me off, says, Kevin Blanch, you've been classified. A grassroots activist classified. So Gorbachev and the Russian people sacrificed and entombed it. Obama and Trump bowed to the nuclear energy crime syndicate and did nothing. This is not my words, which I've said right here. It's in black and white now. It's in print. Japanese print is putting it out. When they decided just to leave, and they left 16 advisors there, bewilderment. Total bewilderment. We couldn't imagine why they did it. Well, I just told you why they did it. Barack Obama on St. Patrick's Day, 2011, 6 days into the catastrophe. We gave a press conference in the Rose Garden. We, the people, we want you to be abreast of all this. The plume is coming over us, coming over us right now. It is not dangerous. The experts said it is not dangerous now. There's no need to evacuate the coast of California. California and Oregon, you're fine right now, but We want you to know what we know. And as we gather information, we're going to let you know what we know. He never mentioned the word again. The greatest lie in human history. The energy bubble, the fires, it's all Fukushima, and they all know it. They pushed it into the Pacific Ocean, full well knowing they would genocide the freaking Pacific Ocean. Full well knowing they would freaking make cancer rates go freaking psycho in the North America. Full knowing. They did it anyway. For one reason. Gorbachev knew that if he did not entomb this, this would poison the entire continent of freaking Europe. He said that. The greatest humanitarian, we go from Reagan and Gorbachev, SALT 1, SALT 2, getting ready to Trump and Putin. Putin filled the vacuum. The Tsar's back. Trump never mentioned it one time. The handoff, first meeting. I was there. I was at the Trump Towers. Abiy's the first one in. I was at the White House when he got elected. Then he goes to Mar-a-Lago. They black out the windows. He met with Abiy 18 times. To meet with a Japanese PM once is a big deal. 18. Abiy's dying of cancer. The Inspector General at the UN, Kevin Blanch in Vienna. I'm there. I'm talking to him. You go to Fukushima, it'll kill you. He went twice. I was there when he died of cancer. They used the homeless. They used people that owned the mob money. They used refugees. They used mentally ill. They used children to scrape up the bags and put it. The Olympics were announced as pure propaganda. The fact that they had announced the Olympics going to be in Tokyo was pure propaganda, Mitt Romney. That's the Olympic downhill, 2002, the most corrupt Olympics, the Mitt Romney Games. COVID-19, no doubt in my mind, came from the sea. Gorbachev entombed it. They paid the price. They sacrificed and saved the fucking world. They saved the fucking... One partial meltdown blew up that got entombed in 87 days by hundreds of thousands of men who paid the price. 2, 6 full-blown out core meltdowns. They simply let it pour into the Pacific Ocean for 3,700 days. Kevin Blanch, they'll tell you exactly what I'm telling you 10 years from now, after you've been dead and your frogs have boiled. And the American apathy and the YouTube vloggers, look, they went after any vlogger that went after on Fukushima. Mike Kettling proves it. They went to guys like Dutch Sense. They went to Colbert Report. They went to those guys that were tackling Fukushima. We'll make your sites go up. You know, even if it's done nuanced, they could see their AdSense counts falling. I don't have an AdSense account. They attacked me. They knew they couldn't buy me. They bought the rest of them. I bought the rest of them, not me. Because the truth is more than financial gain. Health. The truth will set you free. Remember, I did all this work in critical condition, full of AML leukemia. So, Obama, the greatest decision in human history. Was it the right decision? No, it was dead wrong. Never forget. Go talk to the Navy Admiral, which I have. He'll tell you exactly this. I mean, he'll back off now because it's classified. Haas Cartwright, the same guy who was found guilty of leaking this to the New York Times. In a court of law, sent to prison. Same guy, make it so, same guy. Obama pardoned him. Of course, look who Trump's pardoned. Manafort, Flynn, Snowden, they all lead to the roads lead to the Ukraine. You know, the vacuum was left when the USSR was over. Yeah, HBO says, oh, it's because they cheated. You go to that part of Europe, Edward Teller, at the end of his life. Sakharov became an anti-nuker. Oppenheimer became somewhat of an anti. He used to go back and forth. Teller, at the end of his life, was asked, the mad Hungarian who ran the nuclear program forever, Edward Teller, well, you're probably responsible for poisoning and killing billions of species, billions of animals in your nuclear thesis. I don't care as long as we stop them Russians. Eastern Europe will tell you to this day. And if you don't know, you don't believe that this is possible, you know nothing about the Cold War. In Eastern Europe, they believe the United States CIA blew Chernobyl. And if you don't think that's possible, you know nothing about the Cold War. What blew Fukushima? The United States is freaking nuclear arrogance. Building reactors on the Ring of Fire. We got sent over shut down on the piggyback on the heels of Fukushima. Kathy Iwani, myself, she was in Japan. Rachel Godoya. Go ask them. They were there. They were loaded on ships. They were being evacuated. Barack Obama. Quote from inside the Situation Room. Is it true that these are full blown out meltdowns that could kill the entire Pacific Ocean, could cause cancer rates to increase by 2-3-fold in North America? Yes. John Holden. Navy Admiral. We're fucking already in there. We're fucking in too many. He used the F word multiple times. Hoss Cartwright. Make it so. Holden went home. He got called back in 2 hours and went back. They want the Reagan in there to spray water on these cores to try to slow it down. You'll radiate and you'll kill every one of them. The Navy Admiral. Is that true? Yeah, they'll kill a lot of them, but make it so. Which did zero. Spraying on the water did zero. Barack Obama, propped up by the nuclear industry. The buck stops where? Then his twin Trump, carry on my wayward son. Carries on the greatest event in human history. You will kill the Pacific Ocean. You will cause cancer rates to go psycho. But if we don't, if we do entomb this, this will be the end of the nuclear energy industry. Well, we can't have that. It's that simple of a decision. Gorbachev entombed it. Obama entombed us. Trump continued it. Looks like Biden doing the same thing. The greatest event in human history by 1 billion times. It's in black and white now. I told you this all happened. You wouldn't listen to me. And the kettle, it doesn't matter if it's 4 views. It's right there. It's being reported today for the first time in 3,700 some days. The United States military under the Bible took total control. We were nervous about them taking control, but they did. Then all of a sudden, they threw their hands up and just left us. We were in total bewilderment. The greatest freaking PhD in human history, Kevin D. Blanche. Fucking all done while in critical condition for AML leukemia. Stand tuned.